In this video, you'll learn 2 lies conservatism is based on, followed by 2 shocking admissions from Liz Truss and Sajid Javid in favour of these lies. And if you stick around to the end, I will show you in 3 graphs exactly how they are wrong. So what are the 2 myths conservatism is based on? Myth 1. Meritocracy. If conservatives truly believed in meritocracy, they wouldn't be so eager for private schooling and inheritance tax reduction. Myth 2. The poor are lazy. This one, they don't say out loud, but just like the first myth, it is a convenient lie. They tell themselves to feel at ease with unearned wealth and the continued exploitation of the working people. The tragedy is that they convince working people of this too. Conservative media has convinced Brits rising bills, crumbling public services, lack of economic growth, and inflation is their fault. Here is Liz Truss, the likely next PM of the UK, saying it out loud.
British workers, I once wrote a book about this which got mischaracterized, but British workers produce less per hour and that's a combination of kind of skill and application. And there's and it's very, if you look at productivity, it's very, very different in London from the rest of the country. But basically, no, because this has been a historical fact for decades. Essentially, it's partly a sort of mindset and attitude thing. Yeah, it's working culture, basically. If you go to China, it's quite different, I can assure you. There's a fundamental issue in British working culture, and it's not, essentially, if we're going to be a richer country and a more prosperous country, that needs to change, but I don't think people are that keen to change that. So I think there's a slight thing in Britain about wanting the easy answers, and I think that's my reflection on the election and what's gone before it. And the referendum is like, we say it's all Europe that's causing us these problems, so it's migrants that cause these problems. And actually, what needs to happen is, a bit more. More graft. And it's not a popular message.
Now this clip won't even affect her polling. Her donors sign up to this myth because it serves them. How? Because it's easy to scapegoat the working people for their dwindling quality of life while they plunder the country in anonymity. Now stick around and I'll show you exactly why they are wrong. Here's a graph that shows UK workers work more hours in Germany and France. However, here you can see we are far less productive. Since the Tories came into power, UK workers have only increased their productivity by 1% compared to a 5% average in Europe. More hours, less investment equals less productivity. Austerity and neoliberalism don't work. Or rather, it does, just not for you. More work, less pay for you. Less work, more pay for them. This has been the Tory creed for 12 years. Now, if you found this video helpful so far, please drop a like so YouTube spreads the message for us. Now onto a clip where Sajid Javid supports Liz and makes a fatal contradiction. See if you can spot what that is.
Comment, as I understand it, was made a number of years ago. I don't know the exact context that was made in.
I understand that Liz Truss has changed her view on a variety of things over the years.
What I also heard her say, just in that snippet that you played there, was that the productivity in the UK versus other comparable countries is generally lower. And that's been a long-standing UK problem. And that doesn't happen because British workers don't work hard. British workers are amongst the hardest working in the world. I mean, I ran the health service, and I can tell you they could not work any harder in the health service.
Yeah, but it happens. Also said in that there was a difference in productivity between those working in and around the capital and those working in the regions. She appeared to be suggesting the problem with those in the regions is that they don't graft hard enough, when everyone else knows the reason that the South does better is because business and investment has been focused in this part of the country to the detriment of the rest of it.
I think what she's talking about is business and investment, because To increase productivity, the government, of course, has a huge role to play. There's capital investment, things like infrastructure investment, for example. Those areas that get more of it generally, of course, can do better in terms of productivity. It's also about skills investment and making sure that we're investing in skills across the country, not just in the capital or the southeast, but you're right across the country. And that is what's going to make the difference. And now Liz has a plan for that, but it all comes back to the economy, because if we don't increase our growth rate, we won't be able to pay for those investments. And that's why Liz has a plan that says, look, you've got to start with tax cuts to kickstart growth. And you've got to make a number of other changes, of course, alongside that. But it starts with tax cuts, and she gets.
Did you spot the contradiction? Growth is higher in the South due to increased investment. Yet Javid wants to slash investment with tax cuts, a strategy that's failed for 12 years. I leave you with this thought. If someone who, when it comes to a question as deep and as complicated as worker productivity, accepts an easy and discriminatory answer fit to be Prime Minister, is someone who puts such little thought into major political and economic questions not the truly lazy one? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think workers are lazier in the UK? Do you agree that austerity is why workers are less productive? If not, let me know why. And if you found this useful, please demolish that subscribe button and hit the bell too, as there are many more videos to come.